I went there because I thought it was going to be an historical time in the making. The Electoral College was going to be confirmed. The president was going to make his last speech, which I had never been to one of his speeches, and I thought I'd go, and here I had an opportunity to go. So I went, and that's why I went. I didn't even understand what insurrection meant until recently. I had not heard of any uprising or anything like that. I'm not a part of that. I went for the reasons I just told you. I stayed for about 3/4 of his speech. He was saying the same thing that he's been saying over and over. I told Steve, I said, I'm cold. Let's go back to the hotel. And that's what I did. Went back to the hotel. It was about 12:30, 1 o'clock. Had lunch, took a nap, got up, turned on the TV, and that's when I saw the mess that these idiots were causing in the Capitol. I stayed in the hotel because I didn't feel safe. I knew that on the news they announced a 6 o'clock curfew. So at about 5 or 5:30, out of curiosity, I wanted to see what was going on in the streets. I went out and made one block around the hotel, and it was nobody on the street. It was eerie. Matter of fact, in Washington, everything was closed because of the virus. You couldn't even get a cup of coffee on the street. But if the picture that has been going around on social media, if you look at it, you don't see a Trump hat on me. You don't see a Trump shirt on me, but you do see a mask on me. And a lot of people in this group, there were 99%, didn't have masks. Matter of fact, they looked at me like I was a little strange, and one comment from one person said, "Hey, old man, that mask isn't going to do you any good." I mean, so I felt a little bit out of place, but I was there, and I accept responsibility for being there. I just feel very bad for our team members who are being harmed by my poor judgment. Well, once again, I didn't go over there in support of Trump. I went over there to hear him speak. I went over there to be for the history being made, history in the making, I guess I would say. But I guess I had very poor judgment, not realizing what I was doing. Had I realized what I was going to be doing, I would not have gone. I absolutely would take it back right now if I could. Again, I apologize, and I'm very sorry, and I hurt a lot of people, and I understand that. As far as the brand, yeah, I ran the company for over 40 years, and we worked very hard. Our whole team worked very hard, and they still do. And that's what hurts me, that I hurt the brand, I hurt my family, and I hurt, most importantly, our team members who had nothing to do with my poor judgment.
Mr. Rouse.
No, sir. I do not believe the election was stolen. I believe Trump was wrong. I believe all of that was coming out of there was incorrect. As far as being complicit, I would have needed to know ahead of time that what was going to take place. I absolutely had no idea. I absolutely got out of Washington as quick as I could after. Have I waited too long to speak? Probably so, but certain consultants advised me to let it cool down before I began to make a push and apologize, and perhaps that's bad advice. But I was paying the man for advice, and I accepted it. Now, Jerome, on the other hand, said, You've got to get out. You've got to get out there and talk to the African-American community. And that's why I'm on the station today.
Well, when situations like this happen with anyone, the first thing you want to look at is a guy's record. This incident happened back on January the 6th of this year. But if you look at Mr. Rouse's record for the last 20 years that I've had a relationship with, for the past 20 years. I want our listening audience to know that Mr. Rouse is a member of the NAACP For over 20 years, Mr. Rouse has been giving scholarships to African-American kids in our community. I wanted people to know that Mr. Rouse has received one of the highest awards from the NAACP for his work in the community. So I think when controversial things like this come up, I think you need to take a step back and look at a guy's record and see what have he done in our community before this incident have come up. And I think it's clear that Mr. Rouse have given back to all communities, including the African-American community. He have hired African-American managers in his stores. If you judge him by other supermarkets around New Orleans and around the state of Louisiana, take a look at African-Americans in their stores compared to African-Americans in his stores. Mr. Rouse have always wanted African-Americans to come forward who are vendors. He have included African-American vendors in his stores.